Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you a review of this week's episode of Riverdale on the CW, which was episode 4 of season 2, called The Town That Dreaded Sundown. And a bit quicker with my review this week, thankfully. Just with work and other shows I juggle week to week, it's hard to get it out on time. But Riverdale, as I've said in almost every video I've done on it this year, is a show I definitely want to focus on because, despite its teen drama being nature initially, there's something engaging and enthralling about Riverdale, and this episode was a pretty good example of that. Now, if you guys watched my review of the season 2 premiere, I thought that was the best episode of the series so far, or at least within like the top 3 or so, just depending on your taste. But this episode, I think, is included among that. I thought it was almost as good as the season premiere. The only thing that was lacking was like the weight of what was happening with Fred. But I thought this episode was nonetheless very engaging. Definitely one of my absolute favorites of the series, if not my favorite of the series. From that Outsiders, style fight scene, which I'll get more into in a few minutes. To the way Veronica handled things, to more panic surrounding the Black Hood. I just thought it was a very, very good episode, and it really captured what Riverdale is, I think. I read like a comment on Facebook saying that they prefer season 1 so far, because it focused more on the characters and not quite as much on the mystery of, like Jason Blossom's killer. Whereas this season seems more focused on the killer and the threat and everything. I only think that's because they have more time this season, because they have 22 episodes as opposed to 13. It's hard to say what their end game is with everything this season, I guess. Despite Hiram, he does have some kind of hand in this, I think. With Veronica confronting him and everything, I thought that was pretty good. But Hiram definitely knows how to play things. Do I think like Hiram's the Black Hood himself? No. But as I said almost every week, I won't be surprised if he has some sort of control over this or more awareness about what could be going on than he's letting on, but he's letting it continue, maybe. I don't know. And again, the actor playing Hiram is doing a really good job. Just like his mannerisms and the way he delivers dialogue, I think is really on point. And again, Veronica was just great in this episode. Veronica being my favorite character on the show, along with FP. I thought she was great. The way she again stood by Archie, but questioned him when she had to, but again just fell in line with him, which I think was right of her to do. When she said she got rid of the gun, I understood it, but that was kind of like a typical, cliche kind of move, I guess. Even though you kind of knew that the gun was going to come up at some point again anyway, somehow. Still Veronica, shooting into the air, to break up the fight at the end, I thought was pretty cool. And I sort of think it showed the depth of her resolve, or I don't know if I should say resolve, but just like her belief in Archie and who she is as a person to back him on this. I thought that was great. It's one of the best moments between the two at the end, I think. Also, like Fred, probably going up there to talk to Archie, but he sees Veronica and hears what she's saying to him, and he sort of, just lets them have their time together. Which shows that he respects that, and which we knew he did, because of how his son feels. But now maybe I think he might have more respect for Veronica herself after hearing the way she would talk to Archie and be there for him. Although I don't think he heard the part about her having the gun. And of course, the Black Hood's creating panic. Archie was trying to do this red circle thing, as we seen at the end of last week's episode. Again, it was a bit comic booky, but look at what it's based off of. So I don't really have a big issue with that. Of course, it would be taken away after all the jocks, like football privileges were revoked and other threats like that. I like Veronica's t-shirts that she was passing around. Camille Mendez is just awesome. And, we should probably talk about, before we get into the rest of it, we should probably talk about Jughead and Betty a little bit. Again, there's, pretty clear love triangle forming between him, Betty, and Tony. I find Tony to be pretty likable, and her and Jughead definitely seem more compatible, I guess. Whereas I do like Betty. I think the actress does a fine job. I don't know. I just don't like her overly much, but she definitely has her place on the show. I appreciate her initiative and everything, of course. And with her getting the note from the Black Hood, that makes it more interesting. Again, I don't think the Black Hood is going to be someone we know already. I don't think it's going to be any character that we've established yet. Maybe a character that has ties with history to another we know, but I don't think it's going to be anyone we would have seen yet. But with him sending that note directly to Betty, it definitely puts more of her circle, our main cast, in danger. Do I think any of them are going to be killed off? Like Archie, Veronica, Jughead, Betty? No, probably not. But everyone around them, possibly. I expect at least like one or two more, kind of deaths this season. Maybe, I don't know. And the mayor holding that emergency town hall meeting, I like what Fred had to say about it. He was right about the way they had to go about it, I think. It would have been interesting, but probably a little bit too fitting nowadays if if the Black Hood just attacked the town hall meeting there. I don't know. But I just thought that was meant to just create panic, really. And Betty sort of fell into it there, but I got why she tried to warn them. And now let's talk more about that fight scene. Again, I said at the beginning of the video, it felt very Outsiders-like. If you've ever seen the Outsiders movie from the 80s, or even read the book, I guess. Except it was more complicated than that. It wasn't just like rich kids versus poor kids, I guess. It's nothing more complicated than that, but it definitely had like an Outsiders vibe to it, I think, which I liked. I actually thought it was filmed in a better way than I expected. They easily could have just shot it plainly. Just the way their usual camera work is. They just go shot it like just looking over and just back and forth. But something visually was different about it, I think. The way they filmed it, the lighting to it, the way they used sort of slow motion, I guess, a little bit here and there. I thought it was, it impressed me with the way they filmed it, I guess, and the way it was edited. And again, Veronica coming at the end was great. Kind of expected it, but I still thought it was a cool moment for Ronnie, for sure. And again, I really liked her and Archie scene at the end there. I know some people out there still really support the idea of Betty and Archie getting together, but I don't know, I just can't really see Archie and Betty Taylor topping anything that we've seen with Veronica and Archie so far, but that's just me. Or, no, it's not. But I definitely support Veronica and Archie. Although this isn't like a pure shipping thing either, but... so yeah, overall I really, really liked this episode. I also really liked Veronica and Archie's conversation at the end. With Archie saying, I was already would have pulled, the trigger and, actually, maybe killed someone, but Veronica doesn't really believe he's like that. And I don't think Archie is either. It's really just, in a self-defense, or really for those he cares about, I think. Archie's not perfect, but, he still has a great heart. I think we are supposed to know that on the show. Also liked Veronica, talking to her father. I think... of course, Hiram would deny what he said to Archie, basically fight fire with fire in last week's episode. But I still think he knows his daughter enough to know that she's onto it. She knows what he's like, and I think he almost respects that. Again, of course, we're going to see more of Hiram's involvement as the season goes along, but I still thought it was a pretty good scene. I'm glad that Veronica didn't... sort of cower from her mother. I didn't expect her to. I believe in Veronica. Veronica Lodge is awesome. But I still like, on Marisol Nichols' character, Hermione Lodge, she went that typical villain route again, which she's been going for a lot this season. And she said, "You are no longer permitted or allowed to date Archie Andrews." But of course, Veronica doesn't really stand for that for more than a half a second. Probably not even that. So I like that as well. Again, Hermione Lodge is sort of a more antagonistic character this season. It's a little bit off. I kind of think they could have turned her into a more organic type of villain if they wanted to do it that way, I guess. But again, I think it's about her influence from Hiram being back. But maybe Hiram isn't as bad as her. Maybe she's the real monster here. We don't know. Despite everything Hiram's responsible for that we've heard. Again, I don't know. But again, either way, a decent episode. Not a decent episode. What the fuck am I saying? Excuse my language there. I apologize. But yeah, overall, a really good episode, actually. Definitely one of my favorites of the series. I think it's about as good as the, premiere. The only thing that maybe lacked was just, again, being worried about Fred like we were after he was shot. But other than that, definitely one of the most engaging and engrossing, and Riverdale just continues to be on a pretty good roll here. I rated the premiere a 9.2. Sometimes I can be a little bit too, generous with my ratings. So maybe now I'd rate the premiere like a 9. Maybe I'd rate this one like maybe a 9.1, 9.2, but somewhere around a 9, 9.2, if that makes any sense. I don't know. Yeah, so let me know what you guys thought about this episode of Riverdale. Also, maybe let me know how your Halloween was. Didn't go trick-or-treating this year, but made some horror movie reviews, and just sat in with my girlfriend and watched some horror movies, which is nice. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.